Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Garage Jam Talks. My name is Arwen, your host, and today's guest is a person who I might say has been changing lives with his music. You might ask how? Well, you'll get the answer very soon. So stay tuned, relax, and get your popcorns in your hand. Let's quickly get into our sponsor, NZXT. Here we go. NZXT is a gaming product company and drives through its vision of helping PC users to build just the right PC for themselves. You can never go wrong as it has beautifully engineered routing channels. Build a great gaming experience with NZXT. Visit the website today. All right, guys, welcome back to the episode, and we have a very special guest with us today. Hi, Abhishek.
Hi, Arwen.
How are you?
How do I call you, Arwen?
No. No. Okay, so I think we know each other from how long? 7-8 years, I think.
2016, 17, I guess.
Yeah,
This is when we met.
Correct. Around about 16.
Yeah.
When I was still doing big picture gigs, and I used to come to East Street. So we met at East Street. If people don't know what East Street is, was sorry. It was a place in Kormangla where you have, it's like a food court, but not a food court because the ambience was very, very different, and we had a special amphitheater area where gigs used to happen or screening of matches and stuff. And you were the KJ there.
Yes, I was.
And that's how we met. And it clicked because we're musicians. We have something in common. And you don't necessarily have good singers coming to your event anyways. So it's very difficult for you to forget the faces.
Yeah. As a karaoke guy, it's difficult to find good singers. But when we do, we really click, and I can say I'm in touch with a lot of people who have been good singers there. You're one of them. So
right. And here we are sitting today and talking. So that's an upgrade, I would say. At least for me it is. So understanding you as to who you are, why don't you tell everybody what you've been doing since. When have you started all of this? When did your journey start? Were you a musician from before? So you can just generally go for it.
All right. So first of all, thanks for having me here. It's an upgrade for me also. My first ever podcast, guys. So
I'm honored.
So where it all started, I think it started off as a kid itself, right? So I come from a family of musicians. Okay. My older brother is a professional Hindustani classical vocalist. He's based in New Jersey right now, Samarth Nagarkar. So he's been into music. He moved to Bombay to pursue music at the age of 15. And I was, 11, 12 at that time. So through those years of him, his initial training and all that, I've been sitting and listening to him. I have professionally, I can't say professionally, but I have trained in playing the tabla. For almost 15 years, I had training in tabla. I am not a trained vocalist.
Okay.
But listening to my brothers sing, and my parents would always take us to all these concerts. So listening to all those people, I kind of picked up, and my dad says, when my brother used to sit and do his riyaz and practice at home, I would sit and match him as a kid. I was 4 years younger than him, but I'd sit and match him in singing. But when asked if I want to pursue singing, I always said no.
Any particular reason?
No.
Okay.
But yeah, I was learning the tabla at that time. So I'd always, tell my brother, you go and sit and sing, and I'll be accompanying you on the tabla and all that.
Yeah, true.
So that's probably what I had in mind. But somewhere along the line, I started singing, and Interestingly, your last episode was covering a lot of bands and all that. I also had a band.
Okay, that's
Way
something
back.
new.
Way back in 2002, 2003, when we were in PUC, we were really good band. We were as good as Pineapple on Pizza.
Wow. Okay, I get the comparison.
So we did all of 2 shows. One was at Kala in MCC, where we performed 1 Linkin Park and 3 Bryan Adams numbers.
Okay.
And second show was at our own college fest, where we came in second out of 2 participants.
Ouch. Okay.
So that was it. That was our band history. So, but yeah, I mean, that was actually when I started listening to Western music a lot. And the first ever Western song that I actually sat and listened to was Yesterday by the Beatles. And then Yellow Submarine.
Nice.
And that's where my kida for Western started. So then for a lot of years, I got into a corporate job. I had my own company. We were into events, me and my wife, now wife, then girlfriend. We were into events. We used to do a lot of corporate events and birthday parties and all those kind of events. And then I started working sometime around 2011 at 1522 in Malleshwaram. Everyone said, let's start a karaoke night here.
Okay.
So me as a customer, I went and started singing there.
Okay.
Not hosting and all that. I started singing there. And just 6 months later, Karaoke World Championships happened in 2012. And I went and just randomly participated and ended up going to the national finals, which happened in Bombay. This was in 2012.
Are you saying that there are championships for karaoke also?
Yes. There are annual Karaoke World Championships that happen. 2008 and 9, there were Indians who won the championship. But otherwise, it's been predominantly Filipinos.
I was thinking Chinese. They are the ones who are the kings in these kind of things.
Filipinos have been rocking the karaoke scene globally.
Wow. Okay.
And they've been winning the championships. For 2 years, Indians won it. And me, just started singing and suddenly went to Karaoke World Championships, won the local finals, went to Hyderabad for the South Zone finals, won it. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to be that guy.
Wow.
But of course, I didn't make it through the national finals, but getting there also was
huge.
And that's when I met this guy called Val Moraes.
Okay.
He's been a KJ for almost 20 years now. And he was judging one of the events. He and his wife, who's no longer with us today, Sapna. So she's also a brilliant singer. Both of them were judging the events. And I got closer to Val. I started going to a lot of his events. And then one day Val came up to me around 2015-ish, right? So this is 3 years after I started singing at karaoke nights, going and singing and all that. Val comes up to me and says, hey, you're a corporate trainer. You can talk into a mic. You can sing well. Why don't you make money off it? Go and start hosting.
Wow. Okay. Very interesting.
I took that up. And it's been about 8 years now that I've been doing this.
8 years. That's quite a long time, actually.
Yeah, I started around 2014 and 2015 beginning. So about 7.5, 8 years that I've been hosting. And Val has been more like a mentor to me in this entire journey. So yeah, that's my journey in music.
So what you said you were into corporate training. What do you train? What's your corporate life like? What do you do?
So multiple things, right? So predominantly into soft skills training.
Okay.
But I also till the pandemic hit, me and another partner, we had a company called 80s Group, which would do a lot of startup training. So we'd go and help absolute basic startup guys, people who even just had an idea. Right? So we'd go and help them in terms of vetting their ideas and formulating business plans and starting off the company, guiding them through every step of the way on how to run a business, how to grow a business, and hopefully one day get them in front of an investor.
Wow. Okay. So you basically groom
startups. Yeah.
And you have any prior training to that? What's your education and all that
I have
stuff?
done my BBM from Ramaya College. Passed out in 2007. Okay. But my BBM was in HR.
Okay.
But through that, there's a lot that I've done, right? So every question that you ask, there's something new popping up.
I know. But it's interesting also to know, because actually I never knew you have done so many things. See, now this is why this podcast helps. It helps people get to know people, right?
I agree.
Because when you go to a live concert, you just see guys beating the shit out of their instruments and then just rocking the stage, but you don't know what their life is, right? Yeah. So that is what it is. So let's peep into your life.
Great. All right. So I am a certified life coach.
Wow. Okay.
Right. I have done my NLP foundation course. I'm not a practitioner, but I've done my NLP foundation course. So I'm able to recognize a few certain things. So when I talk to people, I'm able to understand where they're coming from, what their mindset might be based on their body language and all of that. So I have done my foundation course in NLP. I'm a certified life coach. I've done my BBM in HR. I've had 3 companies through my life. 2 were into event management. 1 was into startup coaching. Then I've worked in marketing for about 5 years.
Wow.
I've been the head of marketing for shopping malls.
Okay.
One in Mysore called Mall of Mysore, the biggest in Mysore at that time. So I was a marketing head for that mall. Wow. I would manage everything there. So I've done quite a few things. I've also dabbled in theatre. My dad's an actor.
Right.
My dad's a actor in the Kannada TV and film industry. So though I have not gone in front of a camera for acting, I've done a lot of stage acting.
You can change somebody's life if you want to, for the right way.
So right now, Dad and I are actually working on a corporate training program using theatre methodology. So it's not ready yet, so I can't tell you more.
Okay. I was about to say that you just got a live resume out of this podcast. So anybody is looking for someone to fill at least 3 to 4 posts and you want to go cost cutting, he's your man. But pay him well. Pay you well.
But I can't tell you more about that, but all I can tell you is that we're working on a corporate training module which uses theatre methodology, because I have both Dad and me. Dad has about 40 plus years of acting experience.
Wow.
I have been on stage since the age of 5. So there's a lot of theatre experience between the both of us. And I have been in the corporate world. So has he. He's worked in sales and marketing for a long time. So we're trying to put things together and see if we can come up with something.
That's very interesting amalgamation to think about. Okay. So music, corporate life, life coach, and theaters, and a lot more in between that, which I can't really count. It's just like the lines in my fingers. So, okay, interesting. To do something for such a long time, you need a drive, because saturation is something that comes very easily with something that you love the most and you do it all the time. Or doing something new, you buy something new like a video game and you get bored of those 10 games that you're playing continuously. That's why you want a new thing in life, right? How or what kept you going with the life of a KJ? What is that drive that you have? What drives you actually?
Okay, short answer, papi pet ka sawal hai. But long answer is again, being a life coach, being an NLP guy, and being into theatre and all that, right? This happened, I think, about 2 years into my KJing. So I was playing at Boho in Kormangla, and there was this lady who was sitting all by herself at the bar, right? 3 hours into the gig, she was just sitting there all by herself, having a drink. And towards the end of the night, she came up to me and mustered up the courage and said, "I want to sing if it's okay." I said, "Of course, take the mic, sing." She wasn't really that good a singer, but that's okay because it's karaoke. Right. So she sang a song, and she didn't even wait 5 minutes after that. She paid her bill and she left.
Okay.
The following week, she's come back there and she sang 5 songs that night.
Wow.
And she also came and told me something that blew my mind. where she said, "Thank you. Last week, after I sang, it gave me the confidence to go and do a successful presentation at work the next day."
Shit. Okay. Interesting.
Gives me goosebumps.
Yeah,
man.
it does. It does.
And that's what keeps me going.
Wow.
Because I know that people will come and sing well, they'll sing horribly, they'll recite for all I care. But somewhere it might be making a difference to them the next morning at work or in their relationships or in their personal life. I don't know. And I probably never will. But I know that somewhere it's making a difference to them. And that's the long answer of why it's driving me today.
I think it did help me also because if you remember, during my breakup phase, I used to come there and sing and let myself out.
Let it loose.
Yeah, just let it go. So I understand that, but wow, okay. So that's the drive. It's interesting because when you have to help people in certain ways, it feels good no matter what. You get a good sleep at night. It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter whether you ate or whether you had a shitty day. You make somebody's life just for even a moment. It's something very interesting.
You know how Ellen always says, be kind to one another, right?
Yeah.
I see that happening in my life every day where just giving someone a mic and saying, I don't care how good or bad you are, just have fun, is somewhere making a difference to that person's life.
True.
So that's why I do it. And the money.
And the money. Now, coming to the money part of it, I actually do want to ask you, how good a pay does it carry? I mean, do KJs get paid as much as live musicians or as much as a DJ? I don't know, because do you do a minimum of 2-3 hours gig?
Well, contractually it's 3 hours, but you know how it goes once people have had a few drinks, right? So it keeps going. So I have actually done 5-hour gigs.
I'm left speechless. What? How much patience do you have?
Lots.
How much patience do your ears have?
Well, my ears are tuned out after about 20 minutes. If I'm not singing, if someone else is singing, most of the time I just tune out because, like I said, it's not about how good or bad they're singing, right? For me, I'm on a different trip altogether. So I just tune out.
Okay. And is that why you sing in between? I mean, I've seen you sing in between a lot of times, and one reason I understand is when people don't really tend to come up and give their names and stuff, and you don't have many people singing.
No, that's not the only reason.
What's the other reason?
Well, when I'm at a venue, right, even though people know it's a karaoke night, I can take a lot of bad singing, but there are other people in the place as well, right? They may not be singers. They might have just come here to have a good time. They may not really enjoy bad singing. So once in a while, I sing to bring the energy of the room up again.
And how do you do that? What kind of songs do you choose? Because if I have to think about it, if you ask me, I'll only choose all sultry songs and probably what's that word? I forgot. But okay, you know my song choices. But I understand that it needs to have that element of Josh, but still, do you choose trending songs or do you choose?
Not necessarily. It again depends on the room. You have to work the room.
Okay.
Right? So you have to work the audience.
It's just like how we think, when you look at the crowd from the stage.
Yes. So
every venue has
look
a different crowd.
I kind of look at the demographic of who's sitting there. If I see a slightly older crowd, like people in the 30s or 40s or something, I probably will go and do something like a Sonu Nigam or something from the 90s or even a Kishore Kumar or something like that, or some, Bon Jovi or one of the old classics. But if I see more of a younger crowd, which is a college-going crowd and all that, then I'd probably do something like an Ed Sheeran or an Arijit Singh or something like that.
How many songs do you know?
Well, I can do a 3-hour gig on my own. So
3-hour gig would be approximately
25, 30.
Yeah, 30, 35 songs approximately, if you don't count breaks. But no, that's not what I'm saying. See, I understand you can do a 3-hour gig on your own.
How many songs do I know? I really don't know.
Being a KJ is not an easy job. It's not just about having a good sense of rhythm and good sense of time signatures or tune. It's about knowing the song. Because I might request a song for which I might not know how to sing that. And as it happened with me when I sang Tera Ghata. For that, you were able to compensate singing along with me and you gave the tune and everything else, right? You do that a lot with others.
Yes.
Not with people who can sing well and all, because you let them do their thing. But you do that with a lot of other singers. That means you need to have an arsenal of songs.
There is a trick to that also, which I use, right? A lot of the times, the first time I've heard a song is when you're singing it.
Correct.
And every song has a pattern to it.
Yeah.
A chorus is in a certain way, the verse is in a certain tune. I try and understand that and then I wing it.
You just wing it?
I wing it. A lot of the times I do that.
Okay.
It's just a basic understanding of the format of the song and I wing it.
Yeah, but then if it's English or Hindi, it's okay. How about Kannada, Tamil, Telugu?
I don't do Kannada. I have a very limited Kannada repertoire.
Mm-hmm.
Tamil and Telugu I don't even touch because I don't know the language. I don't want to screw it up.
Okay. But do you get requests for other languages? I mean, I'm sure you do.
I do. Now, the issue with pubs here in Bangalore, I wouldn't say an issue, is they don't allow any other language to play apart from the local Kannada and Hindi and English.
You know, local Kannada, yes, Hindi, English. But there are a lot of pubs like Casa Picosa, which is near my house. They are very, very liberal with languages, and there is, I won't say majority, but there's a mixed crowd, right? And they do request Telugu and Tamil songs. Telugu, not so much, until it's a very, very famous song. But Tamil and Kannada, yes, it is there. So, is it that you never came across any such venues that did so many languages, or there were not many people who tried, or you don't do it?
Well, it's a mixture of all of this. So, one, I know where my line is drawn,
okay.
right? So, I know I can do Kannada, I know I can do Hindi, I know I can do English.
Mm-hmm.
I know I can't do Tamil, Telugu, Malayalam because I don't know those languages.
Okay.
And, one syllable out of place and the word means something else entirely.
True.
So I don't want to have my audience coming fuming at me for that. So I don't get into that. But if people want to sing it and if the venue allows it, I do have the tracks.
Okay.
I just won't be having a mic along with me and singing along with them on that.
Got it. Okay. So you just let them do their stuff.
I let them do their stuff.
How common is it to get into, I won't call it bar fights, I won't call it karaoke fights. Okay. Now, again, even if I say karaoke fights, there are two kinds of karaoke fights. One is a fight for the mic and one is a fight for a song.
I have multiple mics.
Okay.
I take permission from one singer and say, can he join you on this? Hand over the other mic.
Okay.
Now, understand that the levels are in my control.
Okay.
Right? So the guy who came and initially asked for the song, his mic is always louder than the other guy. But the other guy is also feeling good that, he got to sing along.
Okay.
In most cases, karaoke actually works more like an icebreaker.
Okay.
It brings the entire pub together, brings an entire room of strangers together.
So no fights.
Minimal fights.
Minimal fights. Would you want to explain any one or two scenarios like that? General knowledge purpose. No, I'm trying to instigate something over here. I'm serious. No, I want to know because it's a very interesting thing.
So I can do, I'm being honest, I can do a 45-minute Kannada set.
Okay.
That's the number of Kannada songs that I know. Okay. And this is different from I can do a 3-hour set or I can do a 5-hour set and I have that stamina or all that. That's the number of Kannada songs that I know I can do well.
Okay.
So I keep those songs for when something like this happens. Okay. When someone comes and says, do a Kannada song, I do it.
Okay.
What I generally also do is when I start off a set, looking at the crowd, I either start with an English or a Hindi song and then I do follow it up with a Kannada song. And then I go into my regular set.
Okay.
So already informing the audience that I have. So that clears up a lot of confusion for people of, hey, Kannada ho raha hai ki nahi ho raha hai, pata nahi, I want to do Kannada song and all that. They already know, okay, I can if I want to.
Right. Again, that works as an icebreaker.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you change your opening sets or the songs that you do generally based on venues or based on the number of days you're performing at a single venue? How is it? What's your set generally like?
It's very fluid. It's very fluid. When I travel to a venue, I normally have YouTube music playing in my ears, and it happens to be one of those songs that I go and open with. So it depends on what my mood is also at that point of time. It's not just the venue or what the audience is. It also depends on my mood. There have been times where I've probably had a bad day at work, and I've gone and I've started off with a shitty song.
Okay.
And then people have come, the pub owners or people have come and like, what are you doing?
Wow. Okay.
And that gives me a reality check, and then I take 5 minutes off, and then I come back with a fresh state of mind and start off a set. So yes, it's very fluid. I don't know what I'm going to start with, but I have a list of songs which are for the older generation, where I get into Mohammad Rafi, Kishore Kumar and Lata Mangeshkar and all that category. I have newer songs like Sonu Nigam, Shan, KK, rest in peace, Arijit Singh, Jubin Nautiyal, all of those artists.
Wow. Okay.
I have folders on my laptop with all these sets.
Okay.
So I go do mix and match.
And how long did it take for you to collect tracks before you started? How many tracks do you own right now? Any idea as such?
I started with 150.
Okay.
I have 25,000 plus today.
You're like a karaoke machine that we can buy it from a music store or something like that.
Probably, yeah.
That's great. How many, I mean, I don't want you to name the software, but in general, how many different software have you worked with, or is it difficult to get these software and work with? Or
I will name it. Okay, because it's open source.
Okay.
I use a software called Karafun.
Uh-huh.
It's open source. You can just go to the website and download the software for free.
Okay.
All the tracks are on my hard drive. Right? So Karafun does have a library where you can subscribe and get access to those tracks and all that, predominantly English and Spanish.
Okay.
But I don't use that library at all because I have all the tracks on my hard drive.
Okay.
So, which is why I don't have a problem with telling you what software I use.
As far as I have seen, most of these karaoke software use MIDI tracks.
Yeah. So they are, I don't know the difference between MIDI and whatever, but SRT files, like your MP3 and CDG files.
Yes.
Right? So that is predominantly what I have.
Okay.
I also have people who make tracks for me today.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
They're not on my payroll or anything, but they sit and do this and they sell tracks across. When I have any new songs coming up or any new particular request that I have, I get the track produced by these people at a cost. Costs approximately 200 to 300 per track. Yes, it's expensive.
Expensive.
Yes, it is.
It's very, very expensive. Holy mother of God. Okay.
Yeah.
But YouTube is a big source for any of these tracks, right? If you look at it that way.
It is a big source. But again, quality becomes an issue. Right? Quality and standardization becomes an issue. Because the people who produce and put up on YouTube, they have their watermarks on the videos and all of that. So I try and avoid using those, but I'll be honest, I do have a few tracks that I have picked off YouTube.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
It's not wrong.
I wouldn't say it's right or wrong. I'm just saying I have done it.
So you're also a partner in crime with all the other partners who are doing this right now.
Yes.
It helps, to be very honest. It's an easy source because if I have to tomorrow go and play some brunch gig, I'll need some 30-40 tracks. Where else will I go other than YouTube?
But YouTube actually, to be honest, is also kind of ruining the market for people like me.
How's that?
Well, they don't need me anymore. A lot of places don't need me anymore.
But that will also need a lot of other technicalities, right? You will need a good mic. You will need the song to be played correctly. Some of the songs are, in karaoke and all, people don't really ask for transposing and all that crap. There'll be only idiots like me who will ask you for that. But, it kind of helps because there are a lot of technicalities when it goes to the karaoke software as far as I understand.
Like I'd actually, I've seen this happen as well. I'd gone to Just BLR on Brigade Road. A brilliant venue for karaoke. They have karaoke 4 times a week there.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. They have a different KJ playing every day. Every one of those 4 days.
Do you also perform there?
No, not yet. But I'm in talks.
Great.
So we went there on a Tuesday, and the KJ over there, God bless him, was entirely playing out of YouTube.
Wow.
So I'd go and ask him for a song, and he didn't even have a split screen thing going. I could see him search for the song on the projection on YouTube.
Oh wow, that's
and
very
he just do a full screen for me.
That's very professional.
So there are places that are doing this. Sure. And when they're doing something like that, why would they be interested in me when I go and say I have 25,000 tracks? They'll say YouTube has a lack.
And an idiot jockey handling that. YouTube jockey.
It's become more like a jukebox setting there, right? Karaoke predominantly is a jukebox kind of a place. I want this song, I go and request it. I am the jukebox manager. I go and put in the song there and you sing it and you go. But this kind of crosses a line away from what I'm trying to do out there or people like me are trying to do.
But then in that case, the venue becomes a dud because you do not, even though you're running karaoke throughout whatever it is that you're doing, it has its own limitations because that entertainment factor is missing, right? What about that? I mean, that still takes a hit. Wouldn't that matter to the venues?
A lot of venues are only worried about their bottom line.
I'm sorry, what?
Money. Okay. How much revenue they're earning that night, right? They're also worried about how little can I spend in order for me to make more.
Okay.
So if I go and, for example, quote 6,000 or 8,000 bucks or 10,000 bucks a night, someone like this who's not invested in tracks and is going to use YouTube is ready to do it for 3.
That's a problem.
They're not worried about quality at that point of time. They'll come and question me saying, why are you charging 6? He's charging 3. He's doing exactly what you're doing.
True. They won't understand the technicality that goes
Technicalities, yeah.
Right now, what are the different venues that you're doing and how many days a week?
So right now I'm performing twice a week.
Okay.
I play at Street 1522 in Sarjapur on Wednesdays. I play at Beehive in Kormangla on Thursdays.
Okay.
So right now I'm doing these 2 venues. I'm also performing online, which is something that happened out of the pandemic. We'll get into that.
Yes. What's the kind of crowd that you look at Street 22? Because I remember Each Street Kormangla, how it was. And at that time also you had 2-3 other venues where you used to go and perform. Yes. What's the usual crowd now post-COVID?
Corporate crowd, yeah.
Corporate crowd.
Yeah. Predominantly corporate crowd. In Kormangla, there's a lot of college crowd that comes in. In Sarjapur, there's a lot of corporate crowd because there are a lot of companies around. There's Accenture, there's Unisys, there's Wipro, and at least another 100 companies in that vicinity.
Wow.
So, and being a midweek gig that I do, a lot of guys are getting off work for their midweek drinks. Right. And they come in here. So it's predominantly, and it's far for people from city to go there. So it's predominantly that crowd that is staying around there, working there, and they come there.
Nice. So, understanding the crowd and then working with the kind of songs that you need is something that you're already doing, which is great. Where does that take you as a KJ? Let's say you've done it for so long. Asking for a growth in a musician's life would be a wrong thing to say or demand as such because we don't know what we're going to be tomorrow, right? But I have seen you grow from a person who's doing live at venues to the pandemic hitting and then you clicking on something which I guess people were doing. I'm not really sure because that is not my forte. But then when I saw you, And today we are doing what? What's the number of episodes we've done so far?
272.
272.
We've completed, yeah.
Wow, that's commendable. And you're still going, right?
Still going, yeah.
Still going and still growing.
Right now performing Sunday nights on YouTube.
Oh, okay. So you shifted from Facebook?
Yes, I shifted from Facebook to YouTube. Copyright issues.
Oh, okay.
So that's something that we'll talk about eventually also.
Right. But then, Facebook has a very strong copyright thing going on. I understand that. But do they block you live or do they block you post that? What happens exactly?
My live streams have ended when they've recognized the copyright infringement.
As in? Oh, immediately.
Immediately. So they put up a warning which says your live will end if you don't stop this now. And 30 seconds later, the stream ends.
So that's a huge challenge.
It is. So which is why I moved off Facebook. I started doing on Facebook and YouTube both initially to get my audience from here to there.
Okay.
So on YouTube, though I don't make money off YouTube directly, right? So I'm okay with a copyright claim that comes in.
Right.
The ad revenue will be taken by the copyright owner.
Right.
On YouTube, but on Facebook, the live stream would just end.
What was the initial kick that because of which you started this? Is it because you're sitting at home, everybody was stuck, and you wanted to do something entertaining, or what was it?
This was actually a very personal story, and I'm okay to share it also.
Okay.
So just about a week before the pandemic hit and the lockdown started, me and my wife lost our baby.
Right.
So my wife was carrying at that time, and this was just a few days before delivery. Some shit happened. I won't get into that, but we lost our baby.
I'm so sorry about that.
Thank you. We moved to my parents' house, and just so that we can be together and grieve together. And that happened on a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
That we got back to my dad's house, and exactly a week later on a Sunday, the lockdowns were announced. Right. So we were actually, me and my wife were in a state of mind saying, let's just go out somewhere. Let's move out of town for a few days. Let's go on a vacation or something like that. Now we're stuck at home, 4 of us, mom, dad, me, and my wife, stuck at home. Nothing to do, no one to meet, and my wife just suggested, why don't you do what you do best? Sing. And let's go live on Facebook or Instagram, something. Let's interact with people there. That's where it started.
Okay.
My first live stream had 5 viewers, which was mainly my mom's siblings and my dad's siblings and family members who came there, and their encouragement saying, hey, why don't you sing this song? Why don't you sing that song? So we started doing that. We did a 1-hour set, and once we'd finished, calls started pouring in saying, do it again tomorrow.
Okay.
I said, okay, we did that. And 30 days of non-stop, no break
live streams
later, I had about 40-45 viewers on the live stream, and this is at 1 p.m. Close to lunch.
I remember I used to join it after my classes and all. I used to come and join for a couple of the shows.
So people start coming in, and we start getting heartwarming messages. Half the viewers didn't know what we had gone through.
Right.
It was only the core family that really knew what had happened in our lives just a month ago.
Correct.
But we started getting in stories from people saying, you're helping me get over depression by just coming and singing online. Listening to you is, lifting my spirits, lifting my mood. I'm just stuck here. I have nowhere to go. I'm alone in Mysore. I can't go home to Hyderabad. I'm stuck here alone, and your shows are helping me right now.
Wow.
Start getting all these messages. And we just kept going. After a point, we said, okay, let's not do this every day. We also need a break.
Right.
Because we weren't singing the same songs. I'm telling you, for the first 40 odd episodes, we had 0 repetitions of songs. So that's 40 hours of fresh material.
Wow. Okay.
And let me be clear with you, this wasn't just me. There was me, my dad, my mom, and my wife singing on the show.
Wow.
Right? So it's something called Karaoke Evenings with the Nagarkars. That's what it turned into. We started off calling it Quarantine Karaoke.
Right.
And then it grew into Karaoke Evenings with the Nagarkars. And mom, dad, me, my wife. Eventually, we had 40 plus guest artists, adults. And we started a segment for children called Next Gen Sessions, where we had about 17 kids who came and performed.
Crazy. Okay.
So I took 10 days off when I had COVID, and on day 11 I started streaming again.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I was my COVID scene was mainly asymptomatic, right? So I only lost my sense of smell.
Okay.
But apart from that, I was okay.
Okay.
So when I had COVID, I didn't really feel it. But after I started singing again, I started feeling the stress in my lungs. Like
Shit.
my stamina had dropped. So again, a lot of exercises, a lot of breathing, a lot of riyaz and all that.
Start from the roots.
Start from the roots again. Yeah.
Crazy. So 272, and tomorrow I think you'd be on 273.
Yes.
Right? Do you have any plans of hitting a particular mark? Just going on?
Just going.
Just going on.
Just going.
No future plans with that.
No future plans. It's like most musicians. No plans. I don't know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow.
Ouch. Below the belt. But the truth.
I don't know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. Hopefully it's singing. That's it.
Great. Okay. So you have a fan base now, and you shifted from Facebook to YouTube. And so what's next? I mean, how is it that you're planning to expand it? Do you have any ideas that you want to make it bigger, have guests come on and sing live with you online, offline? Because I know they're doing it. But now looking at the current scenario where COVID cases are increasing again, and people have streaming equipment with them right now. I mean, you can just hold the phone in your hand and play something off the laptop and sing. Yeah. Do you want to do something like that and have more opportunities come across? What's next?
In terms of that, see, most of the 40 guest artists who have come have not physically come to my place or to where I'm streaming from.
Okay.
So, and a lot of them don't perform live. What they do is they send in recorded material.
Okay.
And I feature them on the show as in the guest artist segment. And those are recorded videos.
Wow. Okay.
So,
interesting.
This is because, see, first of all, I'm not really technically that sound.
Okay.
Most of what I know today, I have learned through the pandemic.
Right.
I didn't know what OBS was till I had to use it.
Correct.
Which was, I think, late 2020. Initial shows of mine were live from my phone.
Whoa.
I had my laptop there. My phone was kept near the speaker so that the audio would go. I had no mics. We had nothing. Today, I have a 7-channel mixer.
Right.
Though, of course, it's not as much as this, or it's not big, but it's some equipment that I have which for today suffices in what I'm doing, what I'm trying to do. I have a couple of mics of my own. I have a mixer of my own. And I use that to stream.
Nice.
I learned how to tweak a mixer, the levels and all that. All this during the pandemic. Even at Eat Street, I didn't know what I was doing. I only knew the volume button up and down.
Right, yeah.
You asked me for reverb. I was like, tell me what it is.
I remember that.
You remember that,
yeah, I remember that.
Tell me which knob it is.
Right.
But I've kind of learned along the way in these last 2 years. So, and I still don't know a lot. It's very basic. It helps me in terms of what I'm doing right now. So, considering that, if I have to stream online, if I have to have multiple people streaming in together and all that, I know I can do it on Zoom or something like that, but I don't know how to do it yet. So,
okay.
I do what I know how to do, which is I ask them to send recordings and I play that. That avoids latency. That makes sure there's quality of singing also, because There are no mistakes. These people can re-record if they mess up somewhere and send in a good quality video. Because I know people who are coming and singing live, like the core team, me, dad, mom, all of us. We've been singing almost every day. I know their quality of singing. And I know that if we mess up somewhere, we know how to handle it online during a live stream.
Right.
I know that. But with these guest artists, half of them I haven't even heard them sing properly. They've sent in samples. That's all I know of their singing capabilities. So I ask them to send in recordings. I make sure the quality is good. I tell them, okay, record the video in this way. Make sure it's landscape mode or this or that or whatever. And I get those videos.
Nice. Do you, okay, now coming off the live stream aspect of it and going live, do you have a fan base who follows you in most of your events as such? They come there because you're performing. I mean, it's subjective, but it happens, right? When you have people like Martin performing in places, you know, people go there to watch Martin. Or it doesn't matter whether he's playing Justin Bieber or some Punjabi song, right? It's about having that connect with people. And you, as far as I have seen you and known you, you are one of those people who's very easily approachable, very friendly, good connect, right? So how has that been for you? Has it been helpful or bad to you, or gotten toxic at times? Anything like that has happened?
Yeah, so during the pandemic, we did a series of shows. I don't know if you've heard of Acoustic Entertainment.
Yes.
Yes, so Sandeep put together this series of shows called Mega Live.
Mm-hmm.
So I was one of the featured artists there. Mm-hmm. So we were about 10, 12 artists, including like Kanya the band, and we had Mehram, we had Rakib was there.
Mm.
So we had about 10, 12 bands, and I was the one KJ solo performer in that. So we did about 8 or 9 shows, 8 or 9 Sundays we did shows and all that. So that's probably where I've met a lot of these guys and all that. But yeah, celebrity status, I kind of want to walk away from because I don't know how to handle
it's okay.
the limelight for too long.
It'll happen. You will get used to it. But then again, coming back to my question, do you have your fan following who comes to watch you?
I do.
And they bother you all the time. Hey, please play my song.
A lot of people actually call me in advance and say, I want 5 songs today.
Wow. Okay.
And I say
pre-booking.
I say F off.
But
it's not that I will not give it to them if I can.
Mm-hmm.
The point is, it'll depend on when I go there, how the audience is over there, how the crowd is. And one thing that I've always made sure in any of my events is I do not give priority to anyone.
Right.
I think you've also noticed it.
Yes.
As close as you might be, you've come and given me a song, I put you on the queue and you wait your turn.
Yeah.
I've made sure I've kept that as a standard wherever I go, so that people don't get pissed off. He comes with his friends, and then it's only those guys who keep singing. We don't even get a chance,
right?
And they'll stop coming to that venue later.
Wow,
right? So I try and avoid any of these confusions. I try and avoid any of these situations. That's
True.
it.
I think that system also brings in a lot of discipline. It doesn't give rise to chaos. And
But one thing that I always also ensure is first-time singers are always bumped up on the list. Right? So say you've come in, you've already sang a song or two, and you're in the queue for a third song, but there's someone else who comes and is a first-time singer for that night. That person gets priority over you.
Makes sense.
So everybody gets a chance to sing. Everybody gets to go home feeling happy, getting those 5 minutes of fame on the spotlight, on stage, whatever.
Right. So, before we close, there are a few things, or just maybe a couple of things that I want to ask you. First is about your rad clothing style. I have admired your clothing style for a very long time, especially the hat. And today, especially for the podcast, you're wearing something really, really rad, which I'm just going bonkers over that. How did you stumble upon this, and how did this become your USP?
The hat I actually don't know where it started. But yeah, I randomly just started wearing because graying hair and all that stuff. So I started wearing it. But then people started referring to me as, hey, that guy with the hat, that KJ with the hat.
Right.
So I kept it.
It's stuck on.
It's stuck.
So how many hats do you own today?
About 11.
Oh, holy mother of God.
About 11. So different colors and all that. So, and courtesy my wife. My wardrobe, she manages it. She tells me, don't wear that hat with this shirt, or color coordinate it and do this and do that. I don't understand most of it. Given a choice, I'll be in a t-shirt and shorts. But
True. I do not deny it.
At home, I'm in a lungi. Right? If I'm at home, I have no plans of going anywhere. I'm generally in a lungi. But when I get out somewhere, it's my wife who dresses me up and sends me on my way.
Nice. Great. Okay. So I think that's pretty much it that we wanted to discuss and understand you as a whole. And I think we did. Hoping to see more of the episodes that you do, and hope that it grows much more than what it is today. So all the best to you.
Thank you.
I must say you're doing a great thing. By doing what you're doing, I would like to see some live shows of yours happening.
Ho jayega. Let's make this happen.
Hats off, even though I'm not really wearing a hat.
Thank you.
And it was a pleasure talking to you and having you here. And let's meet Abhishek at a couple of his events.
Thank you, Arwen, for having me here.
My pleasure.
It's as much of my story that you guys have listened to and all that. I hope it inspires you guys to go and do something with your life. Something more. Not that you guys are not doing anything, but to do something more in your life. I know for a lot of people there is a lot of fear about getting into something new. I would just say take the leap of faith. That's what I did. About 6 years ago, I quit my corporate job to do this full time.
Wow.
And let me tell you, I'm not in a great situation right now, but I do have that peace of mind when I go back home because I'm doing something that I love doing.
True.
So just take that leap of faith, guys. Don't quit your jobs yet, though. Don't quit your jobs if you have one. Do this on the side. Do a side hustle. It's okay to have 2 jobs today, 3 jobs today. I know Arwen himself is dabbling in quite a few things today. So be like Arwen.
Hashtag never give up.
Hashtag never give up. Yes.
Right. And just like that, it's always...
One last thing, guys. Do subscribe to the Garage Jam. These guys are doing a great job.
Thank you so very much, Abhishek. It's been an honor having you here. And just like I always say, and you are also a part of the club, Old School Never Dies.
Old School Never Dies, yes.
See you all around. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.